Wow, that was beautiful, Andre.
Why am I? Can everybody see me okay? Sure. Hey, everybody. Gina Virginia Casella here. I wasn't sure if you can hear me there. Happy to be here with you. Gina Virginia Casella from the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, creator and visionary, and here with my good friend Slavka, the Natural Sentient. And so we've been trying to get together for some time. And Slavka's one of those folks that when you meet her, you just fall in love with her and connect with her. And so it's such a thrill for us to finally be together. Slavka has quite an exciting lifestyle. I feel like you're always in Egypt or somewhere. And today we're going to talk about the Dragon Dreams Oracle that yours truly, Gina Virginia Casella, recently published. So you can get these in your hands. I've got links in my description. Check it out. And I'm always full of questions. And I want to chit chat with Slavka today about pulling cards, like do you pull one card, 3 cards? So let us know in the comments how you relate. And I'm already noticing folks are participating. Hi, Dan Stanton, Mike 4416. Good to see you joining us live here today. And I'll turn it over to Slavka for a moment. And you know what? I had a little laugh with Slavka before we came live. Please help me remember to mute myself. Otherwise, there's an echo in the background. So I'm going to mute myself now. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, thank you, Gina. Hi, everyone who's joining. I'm very grateful, to be here together with you. Finally, we made it. So I'm so excited for this journey. Please let us know, yes, if you can hear us properly. Maybe, yeah, it would go even without muting, but we're not muting ourselves. We're not limiting ourselves because, we just trust and flow. So yeah, I'm just so happy to be here with you, Gina. I just admire you, for your Dragon Collective, connection, soul tribe, and the connection with another elementals. And actually, I would love to talk about your energy medicine practicing or about your practice. Yes, so I'm just very happy, that we have this chance, to gather together. It's like, wow. And that we are bridging, actually. We're bridging, I'm still in Florida, you're in Canada, so we're bridging all the world. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too, Slavka. And, so my life story, I mean, where to start, right? But like many folks out there listening, I had what's known as a spiritual awakening. And what that really means is my life blew to hell and back in a handbasket. And what I didn't realize was while I was busy weaving my wisdom in the dark, I didn't realize I was weaving my own handbasket to hell. So my life completely fell apart and I didn't have a choice anymore. And there's a famous quote. I don't even know who originally thought about it, but it's something like, if you don't make time for your health and wellness, you'll be forced to make time. And I was aware of that quote. It resonated with me. But you know what? I didn't realize how much my life was in survival mode and the stress was accumulating. I really enjoyed leadership, but you know what? I really wasn't having time for myself. And to make a long story short, I had a severe panic attack. I faced the stigmas of mental health. I was never the sick type. So when I got sick, looking back, I feel like it just threw people off. And because I was a public school teacher and involved in leadership, I don't think people really saw me as a real person. You know what I mean? Like, people in leadership, they don't get sick. They don't have real feelings, you know? And so very long story short, I lost everything. And I actually, my sister had to buy me a plane ticket to move with to move in with her. Otherwise, I would be on the streets. And I used to feel a bit awkward about sharing that. And I realized that's the story medicine, because my story is far from unique. And knowing that I had a strong educational background and knowing that my finances were in order before my health took a hit, and knowing that I don't have a criminal background. Like, I mean, those of you listening to me might be thinking, well, you know, maybe she was addicted or something like that, and that one thing led to another. No, I wasn't. I wasn't. So it's really important to talk about your health and wellness. Before I had to resign from my teaching career, I wanted to become a hypnotherapist. And the intention was to do hypnotherapy on the side and then maybe teach only part time to help me find balance in my life. I also wanted to be a counseling psychologist, and I just love learning, right? So, so life goes on, and Marissa Peer. I don't drop a lot of names, but I tend to drop the same few names because I always want to encourage others to do their own research. And if you feel inspired by me, then you know who to go Google and stuff like that, right? So, huge fan of Marissa Peer. She invented RTT, which stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy, hypnotherapy. And it's basically mind reprogramming. And she completely left spiritualism out because she wanted it to be for everybody. Okay, great. So through that experience, it really reinforced just how powerful your emotions are. How you think and feel is such a number one priority. And we constantly, even in our infancy, we just get pushed to the side, pushed to the side. And there's all these bigger themes and terminology that might scare folks away. The subconscious programming, the subconscious mind, the super mind. What does all this mean? Like, honestly, don't even worry about it. Like, if you're thinking something, it's worth paying attention to, right? So your mind's number one job is to protect you, even if it means creating false inhibiting beliefs and lying to yourself and keeping yourself stagnant. So how can this even be, right? Well, it all boils down to the rules of the mind. So I learned all about the rules of the mind. Initially, they're quite frustrating because they all cancel each other out, right? It's like dead mass or something. But if you can get to know the rules of the mind, then you can work with them. So you can live consciously, you can die consciously. When you make mistakes, you don't fall so hard. And when you have to get back up, it's not as hard to get back up, right? And so that was going on, and good for me. It reinforced everything because the cohort focus I graduated from when I was a teacher, I graduated from the first social emotional cohort in North America, and it's all about feelings and prioritizing feelings in public education. And in the teaching community, that's what I was known for. I was that voice. Initially, I was annoying, but then people were recognizing, okay, this girl is right. And mental health matters. So back in 2008, when I did my programming, it was predicted by 2020 that mental health would be the number one expense in healthcare and the number one concern because the ripple effect of it all, right? And all the other social emotional programs, the children, systems, they start to fall apart, they get overwhelmed. Well, it's 2026, right? And back when 2020 hit, I mean, this prediction was made before we even heard about COVID, right? So now COVID's happened. I mean, I'm really passionate, so I'll just kind of like end it there. But the energy medicine piece, I've always had spiritual experiences my whole life. And something that really annoyed me was like other people were having these beautiful experiences and I was scared shitless. Like it started off fluffy and very natural, normal. Like I would talk to insects in the garden. Were those spirit guides? I don't know. It just was normal and natural. Then two angels came out of my wall when I was in grade 2, and it terrified me. It traumatized me. I was put under the liar attention seeker category. So my hearing and my vision flip-flopped because of the trauma. Well, nobody talked to me about that. And honestly, I don't think people in general were really talking about trauma in the 80s, right? And so I don't watch scary movies and anything to do with spirits and ghosts, I'm terrified of, right? So when I had the severe panic attack, it felt like an animal, like a dragon, which was hard to make sense of. But I was lying down and it was like somebody was literally just sitting on my chest. And even when I was standing up, it was still like a pushed in feeling. And it was because on a spiritual level, I went on strike and I said no. And there's a huge story about me recently. I did the soul retrieval process. So just to step back for a moment, and I know Slavka's got lots to say, and thanks for letting me speak, Slavka, because it's my first time with your audience. And also like just us finally having a little Gina Slavka buddy system here. But like, so I was starting to, after the severe panic attack, the first thing I would do in the morning is talk to my cats. And I had like no voice. And if I ever had something going for me, it was my energy level and my voice. I didn't need a microphone as a teacher. I'm out there with the kids on the field. I'm in the gym. No microphone, right? For me, now I would need one. And it was traumatizing, lots of different layers of trauma, because just the fact that my voice wasn't the same. And it's still not the same. It's better, but it's not the same. So that bothers me, and it's a reality check about trauma. And just to wrap things up, my spirit guides, if you will, because I'd wake up early and I'd start crying and I'd have all these shitty thoughts. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to spend the first 3-4 hours of my day like this. And my spirit guides were insisting, like, you're going to get up and you're going to talk to us and you're going to write in your journal and you're going to pull cards and we're going to, we're going to do this. So I'm like, okay. So that was really nice and everything. But there were parts of me that were freaked out. Something about the wind, something about ghost noises. So the wind sounds like ghost, right? Going through all those spaces, the wind blowing, thunder, those are natural noises, but they're scary. So another long story short, it led me to the Four Winds with Alberto Villaldo. And before I joined his energy medicine program, I was joining in on his Shaman 21 community. So they meet monthly for a full moon and new moon, if anyone wants to get in on that. And people sharing their beautiful stories about Jaguar in particular and the Rainbow Bridge. And me being the participator I am, I decided to participate. And I started bawling my eyes out because I was scared. And I reported directly to Alberto Villaldo and his community, like, I'm scared. I'm having these experiences and interesting dreams. And, sometimes they're fun and lighthearted and beautiful messages, but sometimes it's like, whoa, this makes me uncomfortable. And so he's always encouraging people to take the energy medicine program. But he was like extra encouraging me. And then months down the road, I was like reporting back to the community, and I'm like, anybody remembers me here? And people were like nodding yes. So the program cost way too much money, which was confusing because I was encouraged to take it. And then I realized a lot of shamans, they actually, when they want to become a shaman, they're denied for some reason or another. Usually it's money or it's some kind of time factor, because it's a test. Come back. Let nature be your teacher. How serious are you? And often shamans will return 2-3 times over. So that was me. But I realize now, looking back, that I wasn't in a place to receive the training, and I needed to do my own training with nature, Mother Nature. And so that's where I started to really connect with the elementals. That's when I started to transform my dream journals into a book series, into the Dragon Dreams Oracle, because I love Oracle and Tarot, but part of my inner being was like, Gina, like, you can create your own oracle at this point. And I was too shy about that. Like, who am I, right? And then I was inspired by Alberto Villoldo because the guy has 2 oracles, right? And I remember the first time he pulled oracles on the full moon, I was like, like, is that even allowed? Like, oracle? Like, are we clashing cultures here? Like, what is, like, it's totally fine. So I didn't realize how much permission I needed. So when I became an actual energy medicine practitioner, my colleagues and I, we had to practice on each other. And now I'm very passionate about intrusive entities because they have zero business in your energy field, right? Don't even get me started on that. And you know what? We can be compassionate, because I didn't know this, but some intrusive entities are deceased children, deceased parents, grandparents. And you know what? They still have no business being in your energy field. And there's lots of reasons why they stay. Usually they don't even know they're dead. And often they're too scared to cross over. There's some kind of something going on. But it comes down to not dying consciously. So again, you can see how, like, Marissa Peer, she left the spiritualism out. But then here we are with the spiritualism with Alberto Villoldo, and it's the same thing. Then you step into Dr. Bruce Lipton's research and the importance of epigenetics, and it matters. So if you ever think or feel for a second something's wrong with you, like, yeah, we need to take a step back and do some self-reflection. But you know what? Maybe we have an intrusive entity. Maybe we have a false inhibiting belief. Or maybe our epigenetics is not in right relationship with us. So it's very important. And on a final note, like, the soul retrieval process, it's not a one-off session. It took me about 3.5 months to actually get my soul back. And that was the soul part that was lost. There was a lot of layers. Was age 4 Gina, because she's like, I'm not turning 5 years old. And I'm 44. And she's like, yeah, I'm not turning 45. Forget it, because when you're 5 years old, you're the person you are for life. And she's like, nope. So that's so much that I've said. I can go on and on and on. I'm really passionate about what I do. So I hope folks out there got a good little introduction of me, and that you're able to relate. And I'm noticing Anchor Havens in the chat and other folks. I love dosa and chutney. Chutney, mango chutney. That's suddenly got a craving for that. And Raska, Anya, I'm doing my best. I was a teacher, so I tend to sabotage names, but I am doing my personal best. And yes, and thank you everyone for supporting the channel. It's really great to be here today. So hopefully I didn't information overload you, Slavka, but if somebody needs help, you can book a session with me, and you don't have to feel like, I don't know if I should book soul retrieval or if I should book this. Like, what about if I book something and then Gina sees me and we do? That's the beauty about booking a session with me. It kicks off with some story medicine, not talk therapy, story medicine, and then I test you and we go from there. So thank you so much for listening to all of that, everybody.
Thank you for sharing, Gina. because it was powerful. Your journey, your story is very powerful. What you say, and of course, you said it's not much unique, but it is unique. For each of us is unique because we go through the important process and experience that we have actually chosen, we've chosen to experience and learn. So it's very powerful what you said. Um, and yeah, it all starts actually from our parents and how we are growing up, how we put all those layers on us, all those traumas and wounds, and then we do the self sabotage, self denial, and then it's about again, living someone else's expectations that that comes from different directions. So practically, we are not actually living our authentic self. It's like false identity. And then, there comes the time when we realize that we're just, we get to change something because it's not really, we are not ourselves, our true selves. What is our core? What is our essence? So this is like just this beautiful work, like of removing all of it, releasing, cleansing, and healing. This is very powerful. And as you said, most important are emotions, how we feel. First of all, as I said, with ourselves, and then what is our relationship like with our surroundings, with people around me, and with the environment, you know, where we live. So this all is, if not expressed, it's all accumulating in body as a toxicity. And then, of course, if we don't pay attention and if we ignore the signs and messages, then obviously it turns into ailments, disorders, symptoms, and illnesses. Yeah. So this is actually like topic that interests me a lot because I'm much into emotional healing and work, working how to strengthen your muscle command, to actually to rewire your brain, how to create new neural pathways. So, and how to just attract what you want and be who you want to be, yourself unapologetically without asking permission someone else from outside, without validating yourself. This is a lot about work with the internal saboteurs. They are there, and the number one is judge. That is judging and criticizing self, others, and circumstances. So that's exactly that survival mode that we are in, and that's actually holding us back. This survival mode, and we are like victims of circumstances. You know, we go through the life, and we just that happened to me as well. That I was just ignoring myself. I tried to fit in a box that many can relate to this story because we try to fix somewhere where we don't belong based on the expectations and that comes from external world, what others are expecting from us, if we are good enough, if we are worthy. And another big topic is self-love and self-acceptance, actually, that comes all together with that. So yeah, this is all the journey that I am on as well, healing all of this stuff, old patterns, bounds, generational traumas, as you say, relationship with mother, father, and just rewriting the codes on individual level, on collective level, because mirror neurons are real. So what we go through, each of us, in each part of the process, actually we go through the same steps, basically. So it's just a matter of time when we encounter, when we go through the same thing. Yeah, it's gonna occur in our lives. So I can relate to much of the stuff. Yes, I also went through the panic attacks, but it's all because I was ignoring my own intuition, that my own truth, that what I felt I didn't follow, my inner wisdom. That's why it came, and it came actually in relationships, because know thyself through relationships with others. So this is like a lot of learning, and we didn't uh, last, let's say, 3 months. I learned a lot about victim mentality and relationship, family, and like how victim, how it is actually very tricky, that you think that you're helping it, but not actually. So is this like huge topic, how to and that one thing that I have recognized is that either you are in the victim mode or you are in a creative mode. You are creator or victim. You can't be both at the same time. At the same time, you can be, because when you are in survival mode, you are in the fight and flight. So your brain is shut down, and there's no like the flow that comes through. So this is what I actually focus now on these things. And of course, I feel like when I'm on this journey, like my abilities are strengthening. So I feel the call that it's part of my purpose to use them. So I tap into that field, and I just started to do the readings with as well with oracle cards, because I feel more pulled towards them, not tarot, because they actually my aim is to spread the empowerment, and I'm for raising the consciousness and expanding, awareness as well. Actually, I wanted to say, opposite way, raising the awareness and expanding the consciousness, but somehow it, it is as it is. It came like that. So yeah, and I started my YouTube channel, and I just now more intuitive, and I'm following what comes through. So I feel also pulled towards grid work. So go to the places and just to do there is activations going on, and just connecting with nature and elementals. So it's like everything is here, like teaching me. I'm grateful for all people, that I met that crossed my path, because they were my greatest teachers, and the greatest teachers starting with parents, because that's the number one, right? And then, of course, another people through your lifetime, so it's like I'm just being grateful for all of this experience, that happened. And I can share now, because really, if I have this experience, if I know, if I have this understanding, I can share it, and be maybe that little, hermit with a lantern on the way. So yeah, and just we are all in that same journey, so I have really a lot of empathy, but also healthy boundaries. So yeah, and I just trust and flow. So it's like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's great information, Slavka. And healthy boundaries, I can't help but laugh, because even with the ghosties and the spirits, you need to have healthy boundaries, like
Yes.
it's okay. Like, folks who are familiar with me, there's the dog monkey folk, and they genuinely don't understand why they just can't come in my room. And I'm like, it's a boundary. It freaks me out. You have to be outside. And they're like, well, how come the fly is allowed to weave in and out? And it's like, oh, geez, So it's interesting, these boundaries, and even healthy boundaries with ourselves. I took some notes while you were talking, because I tend to brain fart it out, and I start tucking away thoughts, but then there's too many thoughts. But when you were talking about true self, that was powerful to me, because a lot of us, we don't even know ourselves. And your final comments about parents being the number one teacher, like, I mean, when we're born, we're actually born into survival mode. We don't have a choice but to speak the language that the parents are speaking. We don't have a choice but to participate in the religion or community, whatever it is. We don't have a choice but to put up with people's crap, because we're infants and absolutely dependent on other people. And that's why the terrible twos are so terrible, because finally at age 2, you have a voice, you want to make change, you're literally crying out, and then this business, this might trigger folks out there, but Slavka said it, not me, but it's true. We choose our lives. So even me and my life falling apart and becoming homeless, like thankfully I didn't have to spend a night on the street, but it's like, I chose that? Wait a minute, what do you mean I chose that? And that was really tough for me too, to digest that and process that, because when we're living our lives, we're communicating to the world around us. What are we communicating? And I was communicating, I'm in survival mode. I don't matter. My life is in charge. I'm not in charge. And then you brought up rewriting the codes. And it's true. You can rewire your mind. You can reprogram your mind. And then you were also commenting the triangle of disempowerment in the hero's journey. Um, I was not aware of the triangle of disempowerment. The thing is, there's if there's going to be a victim, that means there's got to be a hero, and that means there's got to be a villain. Well, why don't we just do away with all of those roles and be our authentic, true selves, and not have a victim mentality, not have a hero mentality? Let's meet in the middle, because all that exists is the middle anyways, the now, the present moment. And you also, you would have really enjoyed my cohort, the social emotional learning cohort, because you were providing science. I don't know if you realize that or not, but you were providing some science, because inside your brain, there's a little almond shape called the amygdala. And when you're stressed out, it's like a tunnel. Information can't get in. So it doesn't matter how good your teacher is. If you're not self-regulated and not putting the social emotional first, you can't learn. You're going to be in a state of disconnect. And what do? We beat ourselves up about it, right? So if you can self-regulate and get that amygdala relaxed, information can make its way into the short-term memory. It can stay there. Then it can make its way to the long-term memory and stay there. Then it makes its way to the prefrontal cortex, the front of your brain. And this is where the thinking and magic, and now it's like officially part of your subconscious programming. And so everything you said really, really resonated with me. And I love that, because we need to transform trauma into treasure. And you didn't call it the hero's journey, but that's what you're talking about. We're a story species. Stories is our medicine. I'm very passionate about that, because every thought that you have, even if you don't mean to have the thought, any thought you have causes an emotional response, and that is followed by a biological reaction, whether you want it to or not. So it's important we come from a place of indifference, and we don't get hung up on things. And we demand a structure. We demand a beginning, a middle, and end. We demand archetypes and themes. And so even if my story isn't exactly like your story, we still find lots of similarities, and ultimately realize it is the same story. It's basically the same hero's journey. So that really resonated with me. What are your thoughts, Slavka?
Yes, absolutely. Because your body follows your mind. And that's actually true. Because I feel now, when you are expanding, and growing, then you also feel more energy. Your energy, and energy around you, energy, like everything is energy, even your thoughts are energy. And thoughts are very powerful, because they actually set the molds, they set everything, how you go through the day. So that's why the emotions are very important, and know how to respond, not to react. Because in this fight and flight mode, in the survival mode, it's just about being reactive, right? And a lot of people are in anger, in rage, like anger, rage, and like this, like guilt and shame, and this kind of low vibrational emotions that actually keeps you down and keeps you stuck. you know so what you said, I really really like, because you have that wisdom that comes through that, from all those lessons that we are going through. We just realize a lot of things eventually. It's like just simplicity in it. Like everything is simple, but hence we see it complicated, and we complicate it for ourselves. You know, we tend to do that because we're too much in head. Too much in our head. And how is this theory of brain heart coherence? Yes, that would be the perfect state, because we strive to reach balance between those two, between our feminine, masculine, between our darkness and light. We always try to find something in the middle. you know and then it's like this roller coaster that we go up and down. So it's like that. It's all very valuable, and I just see it as a opportunity to transform. If I don't like something, I can change it. If I don't accept, then I change. That's the powerful thing that I can do. And it's literally, there is this quantum manifestation, like attracting things that we want, because this is actually now that it's inviting us to do this shift in this mindset. But there is somehow you realize that there might be some trap as well. Because what was the time, that you tried, yeah, I want more money, I want this means, I want that one, I just want to have enough, and it was not coming. That's for some reason it was not coming, because I'm realizing more and more it's everything really about frequency. If you don't match the frequency of what you want, like what you want, if you're not embodying it, if you're not acting really like that, it's just the words. And I just say actions matters most than the words. no and like everything is about that, realizing that that I'm powerful. The power of I am. Be in the present moment. That's how you get out of the survival mind. Because saboteurs don't exist in present moment. When you are engaging all your senses and you are just here right now and just being. So, and this is why often the people are stuck, in the past, or they go too much in the future, and just, the time flies. So this is really I can't more emphasize the importance of emotional healing and emotion regulation, to calm down the nervous system, to be that master who knows how to calm down when necessary, and how to actually, detach yourself from the dramas and from all the things that actually these are the healthy boundaries that are very important in professional and in personal life as well. Like, know what you want. So I'm learning all of this as well as I'm saying it. I'm just like creating the awareness about my spaces. And because awareness is very important to identify. If I want to change something, I get to first identify what is there, paying, asking for the attention. And it comes when I am ready. Everything comes with the perfect timing when we are ready. So we are ready to rock today. Yes.
No, it's interesting you say that, when we're ready, because that's what I was talking about when I actually took Alberto Villaldo's energy medicine training, when I can actually finally afford to take it. Like, no offense to me, but I probably wouldn't have been successful had I taken it that first time I registered, because I wasn't well. I would have been too overwhelmed with the content. I took some notes again while you were talking, because you really make a lot of great points. And in some other life, Slavka, we probably were like union representatives or something. Like I can see us standing there taking the microphone, being like, "This is important." um, I can't read my writing. What did I write? Identify, because when I do hypnosis, RTT, that's what I do. I regress people. We don't go down memory lane. It's literally we go in and out of the scenes because I'm searching to identify the false inhibiting belief. And knowing that your mind's number one job is to protect you, people tell me happy, fluffy stories. So I'm like, okay, thanks. Next scene. Okay, another happy, fluffy story. Next scene until we hit that blueprint. And so blueprints don't understand time. So if you have a blueprint right now from whatever, it's going with you in the next life until you take care of it. And all of us, including myself, are saturated with blueprints that we're not even aware of from past lives and whatnot. And
Yeah.
then this business of being trapped. Who wants to be trapped and stagnant, right? But interestingly, in my gemstone reading, the bottom left circle area is known as the stuck zone. So when people are there, it's like you don't want to be there. You don't want to be stuck. But sometimes people are there and it's a good thing because they're moving too fast and they need to slow down because they're making decisions too fast, or like they're they're in a rush to do something when really there's something else that has more flow. Or sometimes, you know what, they just need a little redirection from the universe. So it could be a good thing. And a lot of people who underwent trauma and now they're finally like moving on with their lives, they tend to resonate in the stuck zone in a positive way. And that's why it's important to monitor your progress because, what's familiar keeps you safe. So being in the stuck zone is a safe thing. Why would you want to leave something that's safe? But a lot of folks who shed their snake skins are vulnerable. So it's okay to stay in that zone. The dark goddesses are there. They'll put a blanket over you, but you need to be coming out of that zone too, So that's very powerful that we don't stay stagnant in our traumas, that we move on from that. And I host a show, Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength, and I'm intentionally having folks on there who have published books or in the process of doing that because it distinguishes them as somebody who's moving on. If you're at a point in your life where you can write a book about it, to me, that sends a message that you're transforming trauma into treasure. And does it mean your life is perfect? No. And then what else did I write here? Oh, and I had a laugh when you said I am, because that iconic statement, I am, right? So I've been working with this I am energy, right? Like I am the wind, I am this, I am that, right? And now I'm at a point in my journey where I'm like, I am it's not like I am. It's like I am. Like, want to run that by me again? Like, I am what I am not. Right? So I'm in a playful way having fun with the iconic I am statement. No disrespect to it, but it's like, what am I actually? Like I am. I just is. And in the spirit world, I work with the Isis energy, Isis, um, because it means like we is. Like we're not we are, we're we is. But we is really poor English grammar. And we're not we is, we're we're I is, we're I ing is. Grammar. So we're Isis, we're eyes, and we're is because we exist in the now. And so I'm transforming the I am into Isis. And it also has to do with a return. Um, Not that it was absent, but a return of the divine feminine because the feminine is notorious for being drowned out, right? And so there's a returning that's going on. So I'm curious what you have to say, and then I have questions for you about how you pull cards in that too, Slavka. I'm always full of questions, but I'll let you talk now.
Oh, yeah. I've heard actually about that Four-Wind Society, Alberto Violdo, because I met some friend, and she's exactly, it's about this shamanic world, this essence of being a shaman and healer, okay? But it's about a curandero thing. Is they are, I think they're based in Chile or somewhere there.
Alberto Villaldo and his wife Marcela, they are based in Chile, but they offer their program like all over the place. And you just check them out online. They have all kinds of other courses that they offer, and I highly, highly recommend them. And you know what? You can just go on YouTube and find all kinds of free videos too, right? So very, very helpful.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources and information out there. So yes, yeah, anyone can find easily. So yeah, it's like I really like that teachings, because I have like, it sounds familiar to me, and I was even holding the cards, by them, this shamanic oracle deck, with spirit animals or something. Yes, I remember. So it was just beautiful cards, made by them. So yeah, it's just like it is so amazing, to listen what you say, because I can relate. I can actually see myself in you, and it's vice versa. We're just another versions of ourselves. And yeah, it's like, maybe it sounds now that I talk too much positive about this, because you could say, oh, here we are coming, we are born into survival mind, we are coming into the prison, we're coming into the lots of trauma, and just we go through a lot of energy spins, and through the drama, and through a lot of stuff going on in our life, and there is a lot of actually interference from outside, from another, from the universe, from another realms. So, and what's going on here, like, we could really talk about that as well. But I think today, yeah, it's like more about into this empowering journey. So it's just really so beautiful. I would like you to mention your books before we start. Actually, we could do the readings. I don't know if there are any. I would love you to mention your books that you actually wrote, and that you are a really amazing writer. So just please share that with us, with your because they are about your connections with a lot of elementals.
Yes, so thank you so much. So Slavka nailed it. So I'm you, you're me, we're all each other. And when I first started publishing my books, all of my books were basically my dream journal. So back when I was going through those shitty times, I would just write in my dream journal. It didn't matter if it made sense or not. And then I actually thought I was going to die, and I feel like I did die a handful of times. My bones, they just get very warped feeling. It's very painful. And I thought to myself, this is it. Like, I think I'm going to die, and everybody keeps telling me it's in my head. Like, I don't know what to do with that. I even went to the emergency room. I'm just like, I'm not sure if I'm going to pass out or throw up. And it's in your head. Like, so, anyways, I thought I'm gonna die, and if I die, fine, I'm gonna die. I want to die at home in my bed, right? Being comfortable, so that was important to me, and it was weird caring for that, and it was another reason why I felt compelled to get more in touch with my soul and energy medicine work, because I wanted to die consciously. I wasn't like familiar with that, and I'm like, I need to be doing this, living consciously and dying consciously, and so anyways, I was really inspired by Eckhart Tolle because he was in a similar situation. He wasn't well, and if he was going to do one thing before he died, it was publish his book, and it was about the present moment, and he got nothing but discouragement about it. Like, let the man publish a book, right? But people were like, oh, there's already lots of books out there like that. Well, who made millions? Who sold millions, right? And his work in general about the present moment always has spoken to me, right? When I first heard of Eckhart Tolle, honestly, it went over my head, but I understood the gist of it, like the now. Every second is what matters. And so I thought, I'm going to do like him and publish a book. And then I was super overwhelmed. And this guy, Brian Rue, one of my good friends, um, he was sharing with me that he published books. And he told me about KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. So if anybody out there wants to publish, you do it on KDP. And then through KDP, it's sold on Amazon. So that's how you do it. And 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 he's like just really inspired me. And I was like, fine, I'm gonna, because I didn't want to get an editor. I didn't want to pay anybody money. And it was important to me that my books had my name on it and nobody else's name. And I felt very insecure about publishing because I didn't have an editor. I could not afford one. And I did throw it out there if anybody wanted to read over my stuff. And so with the help of the AI rewriter, it helped alleviate the concerns of grammar. And also through my friend Brian Rue, just his encouragement, because you could publish a second edition. You don't have to worry about spelling mistakes and stuff like that. Like, people who actually care aren't going to care about stuff like that. They're going to care about the actual content. And what's going to make these books extra special is that someday when like they are brushed up a little bit, it's predicted in this book series that the originals that have the bad grammar are actually going to be the books that everybody wants. Because when I was writing my story, I realized very quickly that this is actually a story that's about everybody. And so it's being transformed into the Oracle deck is actually the book series. But this is how much I had to say. And then to put this in this little itty bitty booklet, come on. Like, I mean, how do I do that, right? So so I'll just show you at glance my books. And I won't go through all of them, but I'll show you all of them. But I mean, there's a link in the description, so check that out. You can order them on Amazon. This one is 40 going on 14, because I was turning 41, but I was actually going back to age 14 where I had an interest in tarot. It talks about my experience with the angels. These two, book 2 and 3, Gaining Ground and Losing Ground, these were heartfelt messages from my spirit guides. So if you're into that kind of stuff, these books might appeal to you. This first book here too, also, it ends in a way where I start learning about like the tyrant that I was in my past lives and why things are going down the way they might be going down. This book here, The Gnome King, starts to get a bit uncomfortable because Gnome King starts talking about things like people meat and just monsters and what is a monster, and who gets to decide, and just things that I never really thought about, and also more insight and wisdom from various spirit guides. Yeah, there's too much to say, but lots of duality themes. There's a few more here. This one is a big one. This one, when I wrote it, when I published it, there we go. Sacred Phoenix Heart. This book makes me uncomfortable. There's funny stuff in here too, but it makes me uncomfortable because when I was working with the AI rewriter, I was sharing my thoughts. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm dreaming about, right? And then it would rewrite it, and it would use terminology like soul transmigration. That made me uncomfortable. Is that what I'm talking about? Apparently. Okay, like I'm not getting hung up on vocabulary or categories, but it makes me uncomfortable. And some of the content in here, and even just challenging again, like what is a predator and who gets to decide and who has the right to be here and what does that even mean? It's very interesting. And of course, I'm learning about myself. This one here, Feared and Revered. So in my dreams, I work with the Great Galactic Navy and not the guns type. And I'm like, not the guns type? Well, what type are you? And they tell me they're the social emotional type. And so that's why, because me being social emotional teacher, right? Teaching kindergarten, apparently they were with me all those years, and they like to connect with me because they're too intelligent for their own good. So they need me to explain very simple things to them, and it makes me uncomfortable because I start cluing in, like, what am I really helping them with? I'm helping them with technology. They're not the guns type. And it basically came out that um, feelings and emotions are being weaponized. So they're not intentionally doing that, but they need to learn about the technology so they can help the situation. And there's a lot of corruption going on. So there's a bunch of like misfits that are coming together. And folks like me here in this reality get to be a part of that. And others are too. And just like it gets scientific, like spaghettification process and just things that I personally never thought of myself, and also talking about feelings of guilt and shame. And I mean, there's lots of pages here, okay, so it's hard to sum up, but two more books to quickly go over. An Elephant's Anthem of Liberation. So the story goes on, keep believing in yourself, but then I discover crappy things about me. And but this one here, I think you'd like this one, Slavka, because it's about knowing your power. And I didn't make this up. There's a famous elephant painting. It's like an ancient painting. And there's an elephant running with a rope, and there's a tree attached. And as the elephant's running, the rope is getting more and more tethered, right? So there's like a freedom, and it makes you wonder, like, why was it even tied up? Well, it's because when big elephants are little, they're supposed to protect the campsite, right? Well, how do you train an elephant? And elephants are big and dangerous, right? So in a positive way, they traditionally will tie the elephant to a tree on a short leash. And then eventually they take the leash off, but the elephant doesn't make that connection. So the elephant, that's why it stays in that little radius. And you think, well, why is a big elephant putting up with this crap? It's free. It's free. It's not bound to a tree. It's nice that it has a relationship with the people, right? But it doesn't have to stay there. It's because it thinks it's still bound to that tree. And so that moment, so in my dream life, there's this moment. There's a song about me. I'm the snake who uses my hand. Separate story, but it's because I have an elephant trunk. That's my hand, right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm the snake who uses my hand. I'm the elephant trunk. So that's a separate story, but just the trumpeting of the elephant horn and that sound of the trumpeting and the royalty of the trumpets and those golden instruments and the freedom and triumphant trumping that comes with it, and recognizing each and every single one of us is that elephant. None of us are bound to anything. Even if we wanted to be, we're not. And so like, what does it mean to be a keep? Like, it just believing in yourself, second chances, it goes on and on. But then this book, I have a suitcase full more of books to publish, by the way, and the downloads keep coming. But this last book, book 8, Scary Dreams, it's really scary. And I challenge everybody out there to read it. And if you're not scared, that's because it's your mind doing its number one job in protecting you. This book is freaking terrifying. Why? Because it talks about things like black sand. And this is stuff in my dream life, right? So I don't watch scary movies. Where am I getting these ideas from? And these images, they're scary. And but you know what's really scary? Like, the nice thing about all of these books, they're not blood and gory. We talk about violence, but there's not actual like violent scenes that unfold. So I really appreciate how the focus is always on the bigger themes. And but this book is scary because now it's at a point in my dream life where the good guy and the bad guy are realizing they're the same guy. So we're just looking at each other, good guy and bad guy, and it's like, I'm no better than you, you're no better than me. Let's come together and work together. And one of the stories in here is about lushers. Now, I don't want to be hung up on categories, but that's the category at this time that I'm using. Maybe in 40 years from now, I'll change my mind. But there's these lushers, and they come in and they kill the children. So the Grim Reaper comes to collect their souls, and there's of course more to the story. But the Grim Reaper and I, we have this conversation about predators, and he basically explains to me, like, what's the difference between a rabbit and a bear? What's the difference between a lusher and a Homo sapien sapien? The difference might be called intelligence. We can get into a conversation about being vegan and ethics. We can get into a conversation about being in survival mode. And going back to book 4 with the Gnome King, that's part of what he challenges, because in his opinion, everybody should be vegan, and to put ethics aside, because the Gnome King, he feels that ethics kind of gets in the way when we're trying to have conversations. But if you can put ethics to the side, and on the literal level of snake, think about it. Like, if you're eating meat, that means that you're in survival mode, right? When there's nothing else to eat, we eat flesh. That's traumatic. What's familiar keeps us safe. Eating meat is, I'm making the transition now, vegan, vegetarian. It's challenging. The Gnome King, he used to be a meat eater and is changing his ways. Again, putting ethics aside, when you're eating meat, you're sending the whole universe a message that you're in survival mode. When you're vegan, you send the whole universe a message that you're thriving. So it comes down to choice. You're choosing, and this is part of living consciously. And so going back to book 8, it's reinforced, like, don't make the lushers a bad guy. They need to eat. And this is how they eat. And for what it's worth, like, when they came in and killed the children, they came in, it was done, it was over. There was no suffering. I don't even think the children know even what happened. It was over before it even began. And so it's just like, whoa, like, for me personally, this is scary. And going back earlier to your comment about how we have to lie to ourselves, like, even though I'm scared, I have to say, nope. Feeling scared and feeling excited, that's the same energy. So when I feel scared, I remind myself that I'm fierce, I'm fearless, and that I'm excited. And that's the wave I'm riding. And so that's just the gist. I mean, how do I summarize my books? But if you go on to Amazon, the summaries are there. And I would absolutely adore to hear all about how people relate. I have a Facebook group. It's free, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. A lot of members don't share out because they're just not sure how to. So if people start sharing out, it will be helpful. And you can scroll down and see all my sharing out and pictures that I've taken. But I mean, wow, right? And then now there's the Dragon Dreams Oracle, which I mentioned before. All my books is the Oracle, and how do I put it in one little book, right? So if you're interested in publishing an Oracle deck, you can't do it on KDP, right? So I'm brain farting it out, but if you purchase my Oracle deck, it'll be like, there's a thing that says publish your own, so you can click on that and follow my lead, right? And I went with the tin container. It came with a divider, so you could put like 2, but it was bothering me, to be honest, so I just took it out. And then everything fits inside, and it comes with a booklet. And the booklet, you know what, I almost didn't even include one, because honestly, like, following the lead of Alberto Villaldo, somebody that I admire, when he does oracle readings and that, he doesn't even look at the book. He just focuses on like, this is the picture and what do you think and feel. Tell you his 2 cents, but it always comes back to you. And so I thought, well, you know what? Like, people are on different levels of their journey. And some people, they might need a little jogging inspiration. So it's absolutely, I'm indifferent if people want to just chuck this, or if you use it, or if you read this and you're like, actually, I'm getting all this other information. Like, tell me all about it. That's the whole point of the oracle. It's through me that this is available to you. And in the booklet, I talk about some tips and tricks how to, like, do an oracle spread, which I'd like to hear from Slavka how she does hers. But I just want everybody to know that the actual cards, it's called eco herbage. So they were the best environmentally friendly option, and there were lots of options for the different box or container that I could have it come in. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to go with the tin, because even though it would have been better for the environment to have the cardboard box that it comes in, I find the corner of the box always starts to give way. And then I also find that a lot of folks out there, they like to put their tarot and oracle in special pouches and whatnot, and they don't even use the box. So use the tin, don't use the tin. Maybe you want to put your matches in there, or a candle. I like to think that if I travel with the DDO, the Dragon Dreams Oracle, that they'll be kept a little extra safe in that tin can too. So wow, thanks for letting me say all that, Slavka. I'll let you chime in there.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome, because it carries a lot of uh, the uh, experience, that is behind all of that, what you came through. And especially, it was learning about yourself as well. And I can tell, I can share a little bit that I'm onto something as well, but I'll keep you updated. I'm not gonna say, because I prefer, to show rather than talk about it. So when it's ready, yes. Yeah. And I love this, that you also created the Oracle card deck. So I'm absolutely up for that, actually. And I want to share that I love your gemstone readings, what you do, because they're really, I I feel that you can read from the natural, consciousness that comes from the stones, and either from another, feather or whatever, shell, or I don't know, everything has consciousness. So I just love how you can read from that. And I see that you're applying that methodology from this um, Four Wind Society, because that's like in the shamanic work. What's going on in your north, south, east, west. So that's just that amazes me, and I love that. So hopefully we could do that sometime as well. Gemstone readings, and I,
Go ahead there, Slavka.
yeah, and I invite us all, to now to jump into the readings. If there are any of them, we are already going like 1 hour. I'm very grateful, that you shared your creation with you. So we will put the links below. And now let's look who wants a reading. If anyone wants a reading, please let us know. Drop a comment, and we can keep the ball rolling. So yeah, unmute yourself.
I was just checking my buy me a coffee. Thank Thinker Haven for putting that in the chat. But somebody, Elma Pertine, sent me a little bit of money donation for a wonderful evening. And I'm just wondering, are you in the chat right now, Elma? Do you
Yes.
have another name?
Yes.
Because I'm not doing gemstone readings right now, but I am more than happy to pull. I'll pull 3 cards for you, if that will help you. And
Yeah, it's Raskananai. Yes, and her name is Alma.
Okay. So, and just before I forget, so Slavka, the first time we were going to meet, we were going to do gemstone readings, but in just the short little like week or two that passed, I'm not doing gemstone readings anymore unless it's the last Friday of the month. I do Dreaming with Gemstone Gina, and the reason is to create hype, and I'm fundraising money for to create the movie, to create the I'm hosting conferences too, Slavka. There's lots on the go here, right? Like,
Wow.
but in the next like week or so, that's where I'm at. I have speakers already. Like, I didn't even have a chance to ask Slavka. I just like things are in flow. So I've been overwhelming people, but it's because things are happening fast. So folks out there can anticipate a little schedule and an official poster advertising the speakers. And I even have somebody entertaining. Tomorrow I'm meeting with one more person. So it is all coming together. But what I wanted to say too, Slavka, is if you wanted to buddy up with me on Dreaming with Gemstone Gina to help fundraise, Julia Ankerhaven, she is the Dragon Monitor. Alex Lipton, he's agreed to host it for me. So it's really cool. And if anybody out there has a copy of the Dragon Dreams Oracle, it would be such a delight for me to be doing Dreaming with Gemstone Gina, and then I could do like the gemstone part, and then somebody pull from their own Dragon Dreams Oracle, right? So, okay, so
Yeah, keeping fingers
let me.
crossed, you know.
I've been
Let's
playing
go
with
ahead.
these, so they're all like flipped up and what now. But okay, let me just let me double check the name and sink into this energy here. Okay, Alma.
Yes,
Okay.
she's from Netherlands.
So I'm gonna pull 3 cards. One represents where you were at. One is the second one where you are, and the third one where you're going. Okay. And I'm not wearing my dream scarf because it's hanging outside. This is the special time of year where the goddess Bridget, her energy is high. And I have a tradition the next 3 nights. This is night number 3, actually. It's been out there for 2 nights. Okay. So, I'm going to, I'll just pull the cards up for you, or maybe I'll turn off my background. Yeah. And then you can see the cards. Okay. All right. Media assets.
Right.
Okay. Background. I don't want a background. Okay. Okay. Bear with me, folks. StreamYard is fairly user friendly. It's just sometimes I get the. Okay, my bed is made. No judgment. All right. Maybe I'll. Okay, there. Okay, I know you can't see my head. Okay, my eyes are closed, and I'm thinking about Alma. Oops, some of them fell. That's all right. Whoa, something over here. Yeah. Okay, forget these ones. These ones here. My eyes are still closed. I like to have a big kitchen table. I don't have that right now, but. Okay, this one here. This is a message from the earth. Oh. So this one here. I don't remember what I wrote. I'll read the sentence to you in a minute. But this one here, Alma, is talking about the red-bloodeds. So in your past, it could be like yesterday the past, or it could be back in your childhood past. That's for you to figure out. Only you would know. But there was a time in your past where folks with red blood, probably other Homo sapiens sapiens right here on this planet, were in your life. You can assist each other. Remember to practice stranger danger even in your dreams. So, the thing that I learned about dreams is sometimes we're not in a dream. So just a reminder from the past, the wisdom carrying forward, be careful, stranger danger, even in your dreams, because what about if it's not a dream, right? And anybody who's benevolent will honor that toad. Okay, let me pick another one. This is where you're at now. Ooh, and my middle finger is like, the middle finger is the fire, the passion. Okay, my eyes are closed. Which one? This one or this one? This one. Okay. You are your best resource. Okay, so right here, right now, you need to train yourself to be a dowser. So, I mean, like if I was like, my name's Gina, my name's Gina, my name's Gina, like, okay, that's going to get old fast, right? But I know that energy. If I'm like, my name is Slavka, like, what? Huh? My name's not Slavka, right? So start doing that with yourself so you can train yourself and then start asking yourself yes, no questions. I'm 44 years old. I'm 44 years old. Am I 44 years old? Yes, I'm 44 years old. Am I 44 years old? No, I'm not. Well, that changed in my body. So when it comes to the pendulum, I use the pendulum promise. I use it very sparingly, and I only use it for energy medicine work. Because when we focus on the closed questions, the yes, no, it's a little bit too black white. And sometimes we need that black white. And it seems like right now for you, Alma, you require that black white. You require the yes, no. And when it comes to the yes, no, when there's no in between, if we get an answer that we don't like, we struggle with it. So before you ask your answer, or like before you ask your question, you want to train yourself to be a dowser. So with complete trust and conviction. And when you ask yourself those yes, no, black, white questions, you can ask with conviction, and whatever answer you get, you have to accept that answer, right? Just like if I was like, oh, not this card, let me pull another one for you. No. And so that's the thing about the Dragon Dreams Oracle. Build your own trust. Each person a dowser or primary tool for discerning truth. And you know what? Like, look for trees. There's always a tree that we connect with, we notice, and the tree, it might get your attention like it's going to fall down because it's going forward, backward, and it's actually communicating to you. I'm representing the yes. And when I go like this, I'm representing the no. So if you see a tree with this kind of behavior, maybe it is falling down and you need to be aware of that. But it could be a call from the spirit to start asking nature to be a dowser. And you can have fun. When I was a teenager, a preteen, I would light a candle and ask yes, no questions. And if the flame went up, it meant yes. If it went down, it meant no. But now I'm just going on and on because I'm passionate. But something that's worth noting is if you don't get a yes, no answer, it could be because it doesn't apply. There is no yes or no. It's just like unconditional love. There's no yes or no to that. It's unconditional. So as you're doing this training, you want to make sure you're also training for that place of indifference. Okay, so I'll pull one more for you. Usually I just pull one, but I thought, you know what, there's not a lot of folks here today. We'll pull three and get a little deeper here. Okay, my right hand. So those other two chose with my left hand, so there's a little feminine in there. This one is masculine air, the air. Sexual metaphors in nature and trusting images presented in dreams. So this is where you're headed, okay? So this picture was in my dream. And then I went to a teachers conference in the city of Kamloops, British Columbia, and I'm like, whoa, this is the image. Those are the mountains, and there's a little deer on there. So Alma, you're headed in this direction, which it makes sense to me now why this card, the dowsing, is important, because the direction you're going in, you need to trust what's up here, right? What else did I write? The dream becomes a metaphor for openness, embracing experiences, interpretations, and underlining sexual metaphors that life offers. So the sexual metaphors, right? It might make folks out there feel uncomfortable, but for what it's worth, if you study literature, especially the pastoral literature, like way back in the day, it's saturated with sexual metaphors. It's all it is. Nature is having sex all of the time. So these two mountains are two legs, right? The deer, it's not just a deer. That's metaphors about the lover. And the deer, now make a connection to card number 2. The deer's antlers are the dowsers. That's why the deers are king of the forest. Like you would think the bear or the wolf, but it's actually the deer for that reason. There's so much to be said. And this card is on, I forget, book 3. So keep us updated. I'll just show you the cards again. I'll pull this down. But this was card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. And there is the booklet that comes with it if you wanted to read more, but it's also whatever comes to you. And I just want to hold this here for a little moment for Alma, because this here is controversial. It is my sacred stain. So I took my bloody tampon and I stamped all my cards with them. I did it for different reasons. We can get into that. Like, I mean, obviously Slavka and I need to get together like regularly, right? But like, you might not have noticed that right away. And now that you notice it, the energy shifts. Some of these cards too have spirits on it. It's my camera flash, right? Like on the literal level, it's my camera flash. But then after I published these and I was going through it, I was like looking at it, and then like the way it shined, I'm like, oh my God. So this one, just right there, maybe there's a little ghosty message for you. I don't know. You can rewatch this and pause it. This one here, there's just right there, there's a little glare from the camera. I usually don't take the time like this, but you know, there is another, everyone has my stain on it. And this one here, I don't see any ghosties in this, but again, just with the sacred stain. And I got lots of emails, messages about that, and I don't care. And just for what it's worth, I mix these right back in. So I'm not one of those oracle readers that I put it to the side. Like, so the next person might get the same cards. It could have the same meaning, different meaning. And you're very, 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 very welcome. Thank you so much for allowing me to do that. And I'm just checking my buy me a coffee. I don't see any other donations over here, and that's okay. But how are you doing over there, Slavka?
So yes, I actually can. I pulled the cards that actually relate to your reading, what you said, because there is like the goddess of the nature, and when you start, talking, it's in Czech language, but it's like you can feel the energy that comes out of it. There's a lot of healing energy in the nature, so I can relate to that. That this is the goddess of the nature. And actually, it's also the dowser that you said. It's, connection also with the water. It's not just about, your answers like yes or no, and just, like trust yourself and set your mind, in a positive way, that things are happening always for your good in the way they happen, that it's okay. So this is the nature that came up as well. Just it's like perfect, alignment. So it's also about like your power, like that you can achieve whatever you want. Just don't stand in your own way. And this is your beauty shining inside out. So you see, this is the goddess of the beauty. So just, see yourself, see your beauty, your light. Honor that journey that you went through. You see that there is a, like, you're very caring, loving person. Your heart chakra, yeah, is like you act from heart. And there is also, the throat chakra. So just stay in your truth. So there it is. See your beauty and embrace it. Love yourself unapologetically. So I just pulled more cards from this deck because I felt like it's right. And this is the goddess of the, like, empathy. Because as you say, you tend to blame yourself or criticize yourself if things doesn't go a certain way, that I might have taken wrong choices. There might be some disappointment. That's usually so. This is just inviting, like, have more empathy towards self, because in every moment you do the best that you can, navigating with with all those balls that you're juggling in this realm of chaos, right? So that is like really invitation, for the more empathy towards self, and do the blameless discernment. That's actually, if it doesn't work this way, so I try to find another way that will work for me. And I'm not going to blame myself for that, because I'm still learning. We're learning. We're literally work in progress when it comes on our journey. We're learning all the way. So that is what is the message through it. So that's just like supporting what you said, right? Um, Whatever you decide to do, this is like the card, that represents alchemy. So you're an alchemist. You can actually transform the energy. So shift, first of all, your mindset from the negative, doubts, negative thinking about yourself, to positive. Be that alchemist, embody that, because it's right here. Okay? It's actually a beautiful card, It's just this is the deck representing mermaids and dolphins. So water element, water beings. So yeah, I mean, you are shifting, you are doing that, you are on that way, as I said to you, and I feel, yeah, like you're more and more, connected with who you really are and what you really want. Like what's your direction. So yeah, it's just
Oh,
amazing.
I love how all of that reinforced, they go together. And as you were talking, I was thinking about like those deer antlers, because you have to trust, right? Like a dowser finding water. Where is the water? And then, like, I didn't mention the water, you did. And then jaguar energy is associated with water and transformation. And so Alma, it's like all of this here is in honor of you. And Claire Claudette, I'm reading your comment. You got to book a session with me, Claire. You got to see an energy medicine practitioner, a shaman. You don't have to see me, but don't beat yourself up. If you seriously have been trying, and it is trying to be trying, okay, that is a life lesson right there. But if you're genuinely trying to achieve something and you're not, I guarantee you have a false inhibiting belief, So you require mind reprogramming. You're not going to get results unless you get mind reprogramming and or you have an intrusive entity. So until you take care of one or either of those, like I would have to test you and do some story medicine, not talk therapy, story medicine. Then I don't know what your deal is. But despite what your deal is, yes, I can help you. I can help you reprogram your mind, and energetically, I can totally rebalance your chakras. Slavka can do that stuff too. Like I just kind of was answering the question, but like you need to see somebody, and you not like a regular doctor. You need to see somebody who's going to shift the energy in you. And after your session, you need to commit to a 21-day integration process to reinforce it. So even if you're on like day 17 and you're like, I've integrated this. No, you have not. Do it for 21 days. And it's likely you'll have to go back and back. And given your money blockage situation, that's going to be frustrating, right? But here's the thing. Slavka and we offer this kind of stuff for a very affordable rate. You know, we get to promote ourselves, hang out with the public. I do dreaming with Gemstone Gina. It's high donation the last Friday of the month. So, I mean, that's not going to cure you, but it could help you get in connection with other folks and just really feeling like you're not alone, like you're part of the community. You know, keep tuning into Slavka, the Natural Sentient, and give my YouTube channel a like too, okay, and subscribe. Something I forgot to do is just put this on here. So they're nice and fresh again. But I was going to ask you, Slavka, nobody else donated in my Buy Me a Coffee, and that's okay. If Slavka is okay with it, I thought maybe we could do a collective reading, and we can pull 4 cards. And when I pull 4 cards, it's because the first card, like we always start in the south. So the first card would represent a message from Snake. And then the next card would represent a message from Jaguar. And then the next card, a special message from Hummingbird. And then the final card, a special message from Eagle Condor. And I thought Slavka could kick it off because at the literal level of Snake, Slavka is in Florida and I'm in London, Ontario. It's cold, it's winter here. So literally I'm a lot more northern than Slavka is. So do you want to that Slav? So okay, so you pick a card and it's going to be from Snake. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, please. I'm trying to pull the comments up. So I don't know if it's coming up on your screen, if I need any permission for that, but I would like to pull up the comments because I can see them. I'm just trying them to show on the stage. So you can see, because we have like one more request from Claire Seclaudet 4993. Yeah, and I would like to pull it up so you can see it actually. So I'm just trying to do this. To show it on the stage. Okay. So I think, does it work? Okay. Mute yourself.
Talking to myself here. Sorry, Papa. Okay, so just to rewind. Okay, so you're welcome. And let me go back here. There's Claire's. I do feel like I have great spiritual gifts and spiritual purpose that need blocks removed. And then Raska is like, thank you both.
Yeah, that's
This
Alma.
one is the Alma, yes. And good for Alma, because sometimes it happens, right? You get all that extra attention. Claire is saying, yes, I've even tried to go to Peru to do ayahuasca, and it still didn't work. I think a false teacher did this to me and scammed 55,000 from me. And you know what? Like maybe that, I don't know, but it could also be that because of your blockages, you're not in a position to receive. Like you need to be tested. And Claire's in Louisiana. I'm trying to heal the land here, and each one of us land in our own right. It connects to the gastrointestinal system. Sound stopped. Oh yeah, that's when I was muted. Sound is back. Okay. That's updated comments. There was this one. I feel, this is from Claire. Hi. I feel there was some energetic spell, block tampering to block my money, spiritual gifts, and sexual energy that happened to me to harness my power. I have been trying to unblock, to move on. And then Alma is absolutely fabulous. And then the other comments are just like, hi, how are you, from the beginning. And I'm not used to having a monitor. And so I'm the unapologetic type. And I apologize for that, because I wasn't monitoring the chat at all. I was just having a good time doing these readings. But did that bring you up to date, Slavka? Did I read what you wanted me to read?
That was, yeah, that comment from Claire. If we can give any answer, and I just encourage, if anyone wants a reading, there on my site, I pinned the donation link. That would actually really help us, if you support our work, my work, Gina's work, of course, to keep our channels going. So I just invite you, and if you're interested, just let us know, because we can still do, right? You still have time. Okay. So yeah, it's buy me a coffee link. So please, if you can donate, we can so we can keep going. So yeah, and again, unmute yourself.
Sorry, I don't know what you heard and didn't hear now, but at some point I was saying, like, in these kind of situations, like, I'll send Slavka half the money, right? So when I'm doing Dreaming with Gemstone Gina, I keep it all. But in these situations, I do half, because we share it. It's an energy exchange and appreciation. And something that I didn't realize is I'm all about energy exchange, right? And that's fine. But there needs to be a payment. But what's interesting is the payment could be making me dinner, right? Or us sharing a platform like we are right now. But the payment is so that nothing is owed. And I thought that was interesting, because I hear a lot of stories where people owe us things, or we owe people things. And it might be linked to stories that we've forgotten about long ago, where we've connected with nature spirits, where we perhaps even were those nature spirits, whether we were conscious or not. We were elementals. And then we evolved and we're having memories. But at some point, we had to give without receiving, and it's like a pay forward system. And it's like we're being reminded now to pay our dues as part of living consciously. So anyways, I just thought that was interesting, because I never really thought about it. So you don't owe anyone anything.
Yes. Thank you for clarification. Yeah, then we can share,
And before,
like, and
I never
support
used
each other.
to oh, sorry, Slavka. Go ahead, Slavka.
Yeah, I just said like, thank you for clarification because yeah, I also prefer, if I do the live stream and we do the readings to share, like half of it, when because it's like it's if that resonates with you and if it helps you in any way, on your journey, like it helps you, it supports your decision, if it's like really it's about it resonating with yourself, then we are more than happy to help. But again, this is it. Actually, I can explain, even from my side, because I'm very much person that is visionary, and it's like for me, I'm learning to set up my price that is connected with my value, and I don't want to be. I feel like it's not right, to do this marketing hard like the others do, these big, big accounts and big gurus, so called, and they're charging you thousands of dollars, for helping you, and I just say, I feel like, even the little small, helps us, keep going. So this is just like about reciprocity, giving and receiving. So I'm learning my relationships with finances as well in this matter, and to say it's okay because it's an energy exchange. However, in my core, I feel like, you know, I'm living in a time, further ahead when we actually don't need money is in the physical form as we have it because we have everything what we need. We live in abundance. That's our birthright, and we are not forced to do what we don't like, vice versa. So I'm already in my mindset in that, way, and I hope I will still get the chance to experience it in this lifetime when we shift into this, but in a positive way, not in a way that would enslave us, but actually would give us more freedom and space for be really who we are and to do our purpose, you know, and to be in peace in mind and peace in heart, not that chasing and not that thinking every day how I'm gonna survive, how I'm gonna live, what I'm gonna eat, how I'm gonna cover my bills. So this is it. How I see it, I envision really, maybe it's like too. You could say I'm too naive, but I think that's the power of mind, and it's coming eventually. That we will reach that, that we will really increase this level of consciousness and we really evolve the way, organically, in organic way, and then that we finally as a humanity learn the lessons that are coming again, again, again. So that's why I just say, it's like I'm not here to be any guru. Anyone who is saying, oh, I'm superior, no, we are equal. I love to meet you on eye level through the heart, and just if I, it's really pleasure for me, if something touches you, even if I have impact on one person around me from all the millions that are here, billions walking in this planet Earth, it's great work, I'm gonna be very, like blessed, even to be able to help one person to, to actually to wake up more into the true self, you know and just I'm happy to raise the awareness. So this is like I stay humble and I appreciate, your support. So that's how I see it.
I agree with everything you said. I mean, like, all you can really do is be you. And if you help one person, it really is like helping the whole world because each of us is a little universe in our own right. And things expand, right? And the greater adhesion, cohesion that we belong to. So, yeah, I absolutely support everything that you said, Slavka. 100%. I'm just checking the comments here now. Okay, there's no new comments. Oh, there is. Um, Claire saying, "Thank you. Yes, yes. All of that really broke me so much spiritually because I did not have discernment, but I have learned a lot through this process. And you know what? Discernment kept coming up in my. Oh, can you hear me? Okay. Discernment kept coming up for me, like my whole life, and it still comes up for me because, like that card I pulled earlier, practice stranger danger even in your dreams, because how do you know you're even talking with an angel? How do you know that's not an ET, right? How do you know that you're not talking to a remote viewer, right? Like controlled remote viewer, like you don't, and maybe they don't even know. So just really being open. And I do believe we were severely abused as a species. And so we have a lot of power that was taken from us. And this is what I call the confused warrior, because we have this belief to coil out, to save the little guy, right? To be the hero. But what do? We throw ourselves right into the fire. Our lives matter, and it's confusing. It's confusing to stay small, to stay safe. It's confusing to be stagnant, but there are reasons why. So living consciously, so you will get there. You will. And it is not easy. And even like Slavka talking about authenticity, like the healed healer still does not have a perfect life. And there always are those imposters, no matter what's going on in life. So you got to take it in, right? You got to take it in. And then I'm noticing another, Alma, I've been there, still there. Yes, learned a lot. That's maybe a big lesson, to trust your intuition, listen with my heart, not what some say. And that's Alma's comments that I'm reading there. Those are really great comments. Do you have any comments about the comments, Slavka?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to say something, but it went away. So it was related, yes, to what you said about the healers and about, going, through this, let's say, self-awakening or awakening to your true self. That, yeah, it's going a lot through the darkness. Yeah. And you might say, that, oh, yeah, that some of us has more, difficult experiences than the others. Actually, that's, no one can say it's like incomparable, but certainly we are going through those ones that actually help us to learn about ourselves. And first of all, who we are and who we are not, what we want and what we don't want. So yeah, this is like very important, because without darkness, there is no light. Without light, there is no darkness. So these both teachers are shaping who we are. So it's a very powerful like discovery or self-realization. And it was always there. It was just under the layer of the false identity that we actually imposed on ourselves. But everything is already there. I feel that everything is perfectly, aligned, and we just follow. We just follow what is already there. There are no coincidences. There are those powerful synchronicities and signs and messages that are repeatedly coming to us. And just, I love these memes, on Instagram. A lot of times you see, how our spirit guides see us, and how they're just, yeah, you think you mastered something? Yeah, we put you through that again. Are you sure? Just do that again. You're not a master at all. You say, you just, think you are. So yeah, they're having fun of us. So I just say one thing, yeah, come here as well and try it on your own. How it is to be in this human body. Because it's actually, sometimes it's not really funny. But now we are turning, shifting the tide. Because I see it more that it's about really to have fun. You know, whatever is unfolding there, when you go through all of this darkness and you just, then you don't accept any bullshit. Then you just, you are able to determine your goals, and you just go and, what you want, that you want healthy boundaries, you want healthy relationships. So, and like, there is no more manipulation, there is no more brainwash, because that's what they fear. The system fears people actually who are aware and conscious and awake. They don't fear weak people because they are not threat. They're not threatening the system. So all of these has like a tremendous, reason why the things are going on. So I just say, I don't know. I just enjoy this. I'm enjoying this game because it's a magnificent game. So be the master of your game in your hologram. Yeah, we're doing this self mastery all the time. It's an ongoing process. Muting.
Yeah, when you speak, I'm like, yeah. I'm like all these, Alma sent us some love, and Clara is saying that, yes, I was trying to learn about the language of light and realized there are many forms. And you know what? There's forms and formless folks, right? And there's these black, white binary codes, ones and zeros and circles. And
Yeah.
basically, it's all of the same thing,
Yeah.
And like, you made a good point. Like, the darkness, it's not an enemy, it's not a bad thing, it's part of who we are, right? So the darkness is a guide just as much as the light is. And you know what? Like, the underworld, Huskar, Kokopelli, the Moragon, some people are afraid of those kind of names, and ultimately they all mean the same thing. And the underworld, it doesn't mean hell in this bad place. The underworld is the past. And typically the past is gone, the past is dead. So that underworld, that dark place, that's your Akashic record, that's your wisdom, that's all your evidence. And it's also a place where lost souls go and hide, and where intrusive entities hang out. But I wrote hummingbird down because you keep talking about hummingbird, Slavka. I don't realize if you realize that, but you're right. That's everything you're saying is hummingbird, like not being afraid of where you're going to get your next meal, only drinking the finest nectar. Hummingbirds, on a literal scientific level, they're not even built to fly. They have little itty bitty wings. They're overweight, considering, because they eat sugar, right? And it's fattening. And so they're on the plump side, and their beak, proportion wise, doesn't make sense. And yet there they are, little motorboats, flying around. And they also fly from Canada all the way to Brazil every year, completely defying science. And so the little guy really can make a difference. And all of us have that power. So you channel a lot of hummingbird energy. I don't know if you realize that. And you know what? Hummingbird is also will give you tough love, because the north wind, hummingbird dominates the north, and the north wind is the strongest wind. So it's supposed to be like a cleansing blow off, not blow you to hell, but like just blow off all those last leaves, right? And if you're not grounded, you might get blown to hell. Hell is heaven. I've come to learn this is heaven and hell. Now I'm just getting passionate again, but I don't know. What are your thoughts, Slavka?
Yes. Let's please talk about these spirit animals that you mentioned, that you already told us about the hummingbird. What I see now coming up very often are crows or ravens. I find them very similar, but let's call it, let's put it that way, crows. And also armadillo, deer, a lot of dragonfly, butterflies. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's dive deeper into the realm of these messages that comes from the animals.
Yep. And you know what? The animals I talk about, those are based on the Andean medicine wheel. If anybody wants to Google this information, that's the Andean medicine wheel. But what's interesting is all this information, different strokes for different folks. It's the same information, just called different things. So when you said butterfly, that's interesting because in other medicine wheels, they don't say hummingbird, they say butterfly. So you see, you're not even trying to be in alignment, and you are. And the thing about hummingbirds and dragonflies, and you mentioned dragonflies, which again is all in alignment here, they fly backwards, right? They don't fly backwards like dum-de-dum-de-dum flying backwards, but they have the ability to swoop forward, swoop backwards. Other birds can't do that. And this is symbolic of weaving between other worlds, other dimensions. This is also symbolic of like not the hummingbird, but the dragonfly and that rainbow shine from the gossamer wings. So that's a little bit of transformation, anything with rainbow. And anything with rainbow is more jaguar, but you can see how like the jaguar could also represent the dragonfly in a different symbolism, and then you move from dragonfly to butterfly. But I'm saying you move from jaguar to hummingbird. Same thing, different power animals. And you know what? Like I went through a little phase where I was like, I better get obsessed and know everything about everything. And I very quickly overwhelmed myself. And I realized somebody that I really adore is the late Ted Andrews. He passed away, I don't even know when, but I'd only discovered him maybe like 5 or 7 years ago now. And he was already deceased at that time. And he really inspired me, this exact conversation. It's okay if you use a different language, you know? And when it comes to dream journals and that, like this guy did his homework and he met with all kinds of medicine men and women. And he was white as well. So it was just interesting, like, you know, that he was like radical at his time. You know, now it's like normal, whatever. But he really inspired me because, you know what, like, if you're going to learn about spirit guides, don't get overwhelmed with information. Like, let's say you have a dream about a butterfly. Don't Google, I had a dream about a butterfly. What does that mean? Look at pictures of butterflies. What kind of thoughts come to your mind? Write that down. You know, draw a picture of a butterfly. How are you thinking and feeling as you're drawing that? Are you coloring the butterfly orange or yellow? Maybe because that's familiar, the monarch butterfly. Or are you doing some other colors? Why? Investigate that symbolism. And for what it's worth, watch a documentary on butterflies. So this is the public school teacher now coming out on me. So like all these bridging worlds. So like as a teacher, we would talk like, how am I like a penguin? You know, we learn about penguins. Well, we have arms and legs. Penguins have fins. You know, like that kind of stuff. But now that even though I'm not a teacher anymore, I apply these skills, which is hummingbird energy, carrying the high quality items forward. And that's the high quality item I'm carrying forward, is looking to yourself. Read a book about whatever example I gave, butterflies. Watch a documentary about butterflies. Get out there in nature for yourself and look at butterflies. Oh yeah, butterflies are caterpillars. So you know what? Watch information and draw information and look at information that has to do with caterpillars, because your subconscious mind is communicating to you. And through the behaviors, what do caterpillars eat? What do butterflies eat? Oh, wait a minute. They don't eat the same thing. It's actually one of the oracle cards in here somewhere. There's a big yellow butterfly, and it talks about that, changing like your environment to suit you. So you could still be in the same garden, but if you were a caterpillar and now you're a butterfly, even though it's the same garden, the rules have changed. You don't have teeth and munch on leaves anymore. You have a straw tongue, a forked tongue at that, and hummingbirds too have a forked tongue, so that's very interesting. And sipping like so a very radical change. And caterpillars, for example, like they crawl around. Butterflies don't crawl; they might walk and kind of hang around, but they fly, right? And the ways of knowing have completely shifted. So now I'm just getting passionate again. Once you get me talking, I don't stop. It's easy to slip into timelessness, but like, this is what we're talking about. So go ahead and read your dream dictionaries. but look inside
Yeah.
yourself. And then the next step is to then visit a dream dictionary for the sake of getting somebody else's perspective and what they might have to say about butterfly. That could be helpful. And there's AIs out there that do really like deep dream analysis. So you might get information that you never considered, but you prioritize you first. Okay, I'll stop there because I'm getting passionate. I feel like Slavka wants to say something.
Yeah, exactly. Those messages that are coming through these animals are basically the same. It's like free yourself, free your mind. It's like, going from the old to the new, like embrace those, life changes, the new, like changes in your life that are necessary. It's about dealing with uncomfortable stuff that is there, you know, under the carpet. Well, it doesn't stay under the carpet, you know, and it's like inviting us to go deeper, have that awareness, because this is all about the transition, from our old self to our new self. And all of these animals are actually, they have what they have in common, dragonfly, butterfly, even, hummingbird. They can fly. Freedom. It's all about the freedom. Even crows, what they represent, well, also they have, they can fly, they have wings. So it's about this metamorphosis. Yeah, going from the cocoon, yeah, from the shell, and then you're just growing, evolving, freeing yourself. So about, yeah, those are the messages from these animals. Even the spider, you know. Lately I notice even spiders, like insects, ladybugs are coming up. Like everything is there, just telling you, come on, trying to kick your ass. Do something. Here's the time. Yeah. It's like our senses are being strengthened. I feel that a lot of things are shifting on a physical and also energetic level. So it's really interesting stuff going on. Even I don't even know what to say more. It's like now we're actually going again to this, uh, you know, the year of the snake and going to the year of the horse. And so, guess how it's gonna be? Well, it's gonna continue, the process, like from going from the cocoon to reach the level of being a butterfly, rebirth. So, yeah, I know.
These
It
these
feels
are
like, yeah,
challenging. These transformations and metamorphoses, they're challenging for us because, again, what's familiar keeps us safe. And every time we transform on a literal level, the caterpillar transforming into the butterfly, like what vulnerability, right? And there's a belief that the Homo sapiens sapien is going to be extinct for lots of different reasons. But one of those reasons is that eventually there will be no more planet Earth. Everything will return to nothingness again. And in that process, we're going to shed this body and transform into what's called Homo illuminus. So we're going to shed the Homo sapiens sapien and be an energy. So some people already think like when you die you become the Homo illuminus, but when we transform we become the Homo luminous. And so it's interesting because folks like Greg Braden talk about how potentially we are the last Homo sapiens sapiens. And those conversations are controversial because we can get into the ET agenda and AI hybrids, but ultimately in a very long time for now, I do believe that things will flip flop. Things go from nothing to everything, and eventually things will be nothing again. But I wanted to honor the comments here because folks have been sending us
yeah,
some love.
yeah.
So,
Let's get back to the comments.
we got some hearts there, and then some comments are repeat. I'll just go to the new ones here. Alma is saying, "Yeah, wonderful conversations, lady." And then at love is giving us, is that a monkey? It looks like a monkey with a purple suit on. And cute picture. And then Claire is saying, yes, I'm trying to heal the lineages of the Acadians. They are the French shamans that were killed because of their knowledge of crystalline body. And I don't know if it was like the killing fields, but I don't know my history. But in history, historically, like Slavka was commenting earlier, folks who are intelligent, who have skills, those are the first to be executed. And there was a movie I watched based on a true story. I think it was The Killing Fields. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, let us know. But there's one scene where basically they capture everybody, and it's too bad now. And they say, okay, if you want to live, we could use your help. So we need people who can speak different languages. We need people who can read, who can write. We're even interested in people who can draw and paint. And so all these people, doctors, are like, yep, me, I have skill and whatnot. And this one man, he was too scared, so he didn't lift up his hand. And then what they did is they took those people over there and they killed them. And the man that was like too scared, he had to then pretend that he didn't even speak the language. And wow. So Karen is joining us. As the pillar of my gated community, I am glittered with excitement to be named the chairman for the HOA. My first goal is to raise the cost of our fees for a better, safer neighborhood. And you know what? When it comes to raising fees, you need to be able to support the program, right? Public education is severely underfunded. What's familiar
Yes.
keeps you safe. Would you seriously drop your child off age 5 with a parent that has like 29 other kids there? No. So there would be 30 children altogether. Why would you do that? Like, rant over. What is HOA though? I don't know, Karen. Let us know what HOA is. Claire says, big black caterpillars found on oak trees. Kind of
Beautiful.
caterpillars, Claire, because maybe there's some kind of connection. And the oak tree is always a special tree historically with goddesses. And the well, see the water's coming up again. Pat is saying, shout out to Barry Hulkner. Hi, Barry, I don't know you. And Julia's back. Hi, Anchor Haven.
Hi, Jason.
I'm getting
Shout
to know.
out to everyone.
Yeah. Julia's time, missing time, Jason. Sorry, Jason. Just when I'm getting the nicknames known, missing time 420, Jason. My cat is demanding snuggles. Well, get on it, Jason. Get to the snuggles. Jeez. Maybe you can put a picture in the chat. And Jason's always saying homeowners association. Okay, yeah, homeowners association. You definitely want to make the investment. And you know what? Obviously, the place needs to be safe, but part of that safety is the social emotional safety, right? And so having like a door, like I used to live in a condo, and the buzzer was broken all the time. Well, I'm not answering my door if I'm not expecting company. And if my phone randomly rings, like it just, little stuff like that, people are like, big deal. It is a big deal. Having a working, functioning elevator. You don't want to spend lots of money on flowers and stuff like that because then it costs the tenants money, right? But you do want to have a safe, welcoming epigenetics and planting flowers like natural weeds and stuff like that. We always want to go for the roses and celebrate beauty, but you know what? Without those native species, weed flowers, if you will, you're not going to be able to support those roses. They'll just wither and die. So I'm just going on. I think I'm caught up on the comments. There's Anchor Haven saying, hi, y'all, I'm home now. Hi, Anchor Haven. I was confusing your nickname with Jason's.
Hey, Julia.
Julia. Good to see you. I'll pause myself and let Slavka talk.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, for being here. It's so great. I even don't know now what I wanted to say, honestly, because it's so much to share, and we both have this flow that is coming up, and we could go on and on. But yeah, I mean, navigating in current energies is not easy at all. It's really mastering endurance and courage, and just, to be who you want to be, who you really are. And it's like juggling with these balls and dealing with the stuff. Like, it's like what is going on right now with this full moon energy was very intense, and it caused a lot of chaos again in the collective bit, because I noticed that it was kind of collective purge, because it's like we really go through the change that we are seeking, you know. Oh, we all want to have a better lives, so it is happening. Certain structures are actually, falling apart, and just, it's like a lot of confusion, a lot of division, a lot of brainwash out there, a lot of false hope as well. We'll with all those puppet masters that are actually on the stage and just trying to, it's everything distraction. So all I can say, it's just like focus on yourself, on your journey. That's the most important stuff, because that theater and circus that is going on, that entertainment, is really just a distraction. And it's like, it's so funny just to realize that, yeah, this is a simulation. Whether we want it or not to admit it, you might see it differently, but it is a simulation. It's an illusion. It's our illusion. So, and there is a lot of absurdities going on, lots of Mandela effects. There are repeatedly resets going on, rewriting the information, and just, this like saying, oh, we are the only, we are super modern civilization bringing up Tesla devices. And I just say everything was already here before you even announced it. So yeah, let's just now focus on how we can actually improve our own life first, and not to pay attention, not to feed that distraction circus around, and politics and stuff like that. Because it's just really where attention goes, your energy goes. So everything is now about navigating your own energy. Where you focus your energy, where is it gonna go? If you're just be at that battery, or you are gonna use it to create something and get out of that victim mode and be that creator deliberately.
No, everything works in opposites and duality, right? So even as the creator, you are also the destroyer. And that's a
Yes.
positive thing, because that's part of the alchemy. And it kind of broke my heart a little bit. Like anytime somebody talks about like the world falling apart, like it hurts my heart, right? Because we all know what that's like. But that's part of living consciously, because the world is supposed to fall apart. Like your snake skin, you're supposed to shed it. And we have this onion layer of snake skins. Like there's my snake skin, then there's like the next layer, all of us connected, right? We're not supposed to stay the same. So knowing that the tower is going to fall, it is not permanent. It is intended to be a temporary structure. We are temporal, right? Like literally we're temporal. We always exist, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed. So that's what we do. We transform. But it's like, if you can live consciously, you can die consciously. And when the tower falls, like we were talking about earlier, when you fall less hard. When it's time to pick up those pieces of the tower and rebuild it, you can do it with more ease. You can even, I know it might sound weird, but you can look forward to the tower falling down. You can look forward to, like, that's the power of snake. Like, teach us to shed the past the way you shed your skin. Help us to walk softly, belly to belly, with Pachamama, Mother Earth. And what that means is, like, on a literal level, how come snakes don't get poked, penetrated by the rocks and die? They have to trust with conviction. And that conviction is in their own vulnerability, coiling one step forward at a time, with Mother Earth, right? Like just, wow, very powerful. And then I had a little laugh when you said politics, because when I first started getting involved with the teacher union, I thought, okay, I'm going into politics here, or not. Okay, learned very quickly, or not. And that's how I ended up getting involved with professional development, because I still wanted to be involved, but not in the politics part. And that's why we need to work together as a team, because we all have strengths. Mine is not politics. If I made politics my focus, I probably would be very negative mindset. So somebody else who's good at that, let them be good at that. Let them be good at
From
that.
the
And
heart. Do it from
what
the
else did
heart.
I write here? Oh, a false sense of belief and blurred boundaries, a blurred sense of identity. That's a big part of my book series.
So yeah,
Yeah. What else are you thinking, Slavka? Nobody donated any more money. It's 123. Happy 123 synchronicity, if that means anything to anybody.
yeah.
But
Let's
yeah,
give
what
it
are
the
you
last
thinking now?
call.
All right. Last call. If anybody wants to have a reading, a buddy system reading from me, Gina, Virginia, Casella, and Slavka, the Natural Sentient, I'm scanning for my Buy Me a Coffee. Put it in my Buy Me a Coffee. I'm going to give Slavka half the money. We're tag teaming today. It is in the description, to be fair. There it is there. All right. So let us know. And while we're just waiting, I'll just show you some of my cards, or maybe I just want to make sure you can see them well enough. So I won't talk about them. I'll just show you them. Like maybe, can you see that okay? It might
Yeah,
be
I
upside
see.
down. And some of these, they're sideways. I didn't want to make
Yeah.
it smaller. And a lot of these are hard to see, and it's intentional. Like this is supposed to be a night scene, you know?
Mhm.
So you can't see more than your car lights, right? You have to trust the roads ahead. So these are just, I don't know,
Mhm.
a range. This one here.
Yeah, I appreciate that their own drawings.
This is the one I was talking about earlier, you know? And this card came up a lot. So there's other cards I'm finding coming up now in 2026, but this one was huge, 2025. So there's lots. There's 91 cards in the deck, and I that wasn't intentional, and I thought that was really special because 9 plus 1 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1, and the dragon is all about the greater oneness, right? And so I was like,
Yeah.
that is cool synchronicity. And it's really age 4 Gina, age 7 Gina, and age 14 Gina who created these. And I'm just like the secretary that put it together. And I was feeling insecure about like my little kid drawings, but it really resonates with
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some hair mixed up in there. And I would like to create another oracle deck based on the archetypes, but one thing at a time, right? So things are coming together. This one is about the coherence, the brain heart harmony. And
Mhm.
if you notice any spelling mistakes in here, don't worry. I edited them to the best of my ability. And there's one card in here I have to have a little laugh because when I published these, before I made it available to the public, I ordered myself this deck to make sure, I read it over. And now I can't find the card, but I printed one card 2 times. And so I can't find it in here, but it's somewhere in here. I have some blank cards, and so I just drew a picture of that card. It's
Awesome.
going to be funny whoever actually gets that card pulled. So I just want to reassure people that what I'm showing you here, it could look a little bit different, your own version of the Dragon Dreams Oracle, because I did publish that. I edited them. I'm like, where is that card?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
real
it
thrill
sounds
to create
familiar.
them. Oh, it's right here. Here it is. So don't worry if you order the Dragon Dreams Oracle. This card looks like these other ones, okay? And I was gonna keep this to the side. I'm like, that's an advertisement, right? But I thought, no, this is all part of the vulnerability and authenticity. If I wanted to, I could order myself another deck, but I don't need two decks. Like reduce, reuse, recycle, right? So I thought this one, this is the one where it's a winter scene, and there's three white wolves, and seemingly the wolves are chasing the deer, but really it's the crows that are cawing, and the crows are letting
Mhm.
the wolves know that there's food over there. And it's part of the symbiotic relationships that we work with, because I learned this in a nature documentary. So
Yes.
so like when it's cold and there's a dead carcass, it's too cold for the crows to eat. Their beaks can't, but if a wolf is chewing on it, then it's warming up the meat and softening it, right? So the crows learned long ago, caw, 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 over here. And to the degree that when deers are not even dead, or and other animals for that matter, the crows and wolves have a buddy system. So um, I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, I'm checking my buy me a coffee. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. If somebody did make a donation, let us know in the comments, because sometimes it just takes a few extra minutes there. But I don't see a new one. I don't see a new one. So um,
Anyway, would you like to do like a collective pull, carpool? Like for
yeah,
like the energy that is actually ongoing.
yeah.
Basically, we are good to go.
Yes. Did you want to? Sorry, can you say that again? Did you want to do a collective reading, or you just um, that got chopped up a little bit, that last part?
Yeah, like if you would like us to pull some card, like general reading for everyone.
Oh, yes, yes. That's what I thought you meant. Um,
Yes.
let's do that. Okay, so do you want to pull four cards to represent from the four directions? Like I'll pull, like you pull one to represent snake, and then I'll pull the next one to represent jaguar, and then you pull the next one to represent hummingbird, and then I'll pull the fourth one to represent eagle condor. And the reason I want Slavka to start is because literally on the biological level of snake, Slavka is located in the south, in Florida, and I'm located in the north, in Canada. I'm in London, Ontario right now. And so when we work with the Andean medicine wheel, we always start in the south. And so um, let us know a message from Snake, Slavka. And Snake teaches us to shed the past the way we shed our skin. And I'll pause myself, or mute myself here. And thanks, Jason. I read your comment.
So the message from the snake is free yourself. Free yourself, literally. This is the card, that comes from the south, from the snake. That that let go of your old skin. Free yourself. You know, you see that there's the energy of the dolphin. You know, that is just this playfulness, joyfulness, and this truthfulness, wholeness. So yeah, free yourself.
I love that.
Couldn't be
What a
better.
great message from Snake. Let's see what Jaguar has to say. Jaguar represents transformation, being fierce, crossing that rainbow bridge. What am I holding here? The first rule is to forget the rules. The best leaders walk as fast as the slowest members, and they always leave from behind. That's how to play. So this is awesome, right? Like transforming and transcending the very games that we play. This is a picture of snakes and ladders.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you need to transform the rules. I love it. Okay, pull one for us. The next one is from Hummingbird, and Hummingbird reminds us of our high quality items and to only drink the finest nectar. I mean, there's a lot to say about the power animals, but let's hear from Slavka.
Look, two cards. Two cards came up, which is interesting because they just came out together. So, okay, I'm presenting. One of this is like New Horizon. There are new horizons. There's something new. Like the worst parts, you already made it. Your shadow work. You're dealing with the shadow work, with your shadows. Some of them, or some of us also, Dark Night of the Soul, whatever, the, complete fall and rebirth, So this is like new horizons. Positive things are coming up. It's a shifting. And the another card is like timing. Everything comes with the divine timing. Everything is unfolding with the right timing.
I love that. Okay, this next one is going to be from Eagle Condor. Eagle Condor teaches us to rise above. Eagle Condor is the energetic level, the poof state. Okay, I'm going deep here, going deep. Okay, this card here, and Eagle Condor is also about being in right relationship. What's this card here? This one says, seeing beyond titles. Some authors need to tiptoe around things or their books don't get published. So this card, I've got some books and there's titles and I cross them out and put other titles. But it's like, it reminds you not to judge a book by a cover. And this is great Eagle Condor medicine because rise above the titles of books. Recognize that when folks are publishing things or if they have a symbol on the cover, it's for marketing. It really, you can't really represent the content that's in there. And a lot of authors who are way ahead of their time, if they actually said what they wanted to say, there's no way their books would even get published. And so I think this is very fitting for Eagle Condor. So that was great. And I like how we just 1, 2, 3, 4 had them all. And so that was awesome. That was really, really great.
Yeah.
The little
It's
messages are from
seeing beyond the illusion. Seeing beyond the illusion in general. So yeah. Beautiful cards and beautiful messages.
So I got a donation. So I'm gonna, if you weren't tuning in earlier, I'm gonna share half that donation with Slavka. And if anybody wanted to donate money onto Buy Me a Coffee, Slavka, why don't I wait until tomorrow to transfer you half the money, just in case somebody catches the replay tonight or whatever and wants to make a contribution on Buy Me a Coffee to support myself, Gina Virginia Casella, and Slavka, the Natural Sentient. Today we buddy system tag teamed it up. And it's not about money, it's about energy exchange and just, showing an appreciation. And today we had amazing conversation and I really enjoyed myself. We've been meaning to get together for a little while now. And also, if anybody else out there would like to have me as a guest on your show, then Wednesday, it's 2026, Wednesdays at 1:30 Eastern, that's typically when I'm available. The first 2 Wednesdays of the month, that's a good time. So reach out to me if you're interested. And there's lots to learn and discover about me. GinaVirginiaCasella.com, one website to rule them all. And I would absolutely love for you to join the free Facebook group, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective. Your soul tribe awaits you. I would love for you to post pictures of your dream journal, or even today about this experience. People who are in the comments, let us know more. I mean, have your dreams tonight, this week. Keep us updated. That's a great Facebook group, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. And it's free to follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to give me money, hey, I'll take it. But if you just want to follow me, it's free. And then it defaults you to the emails, and then you default to getting in on this kind of stuff, like when I buddy up with Slavka and whatnot. And I would adore if anybody out there registered for one of my programs. It's the beginning of February, new month, and there's just so much to look forward to. Check out my playlists. Let me know what's your favorite. There's too much information to go over, but thank you so much, Slavka, for having me today. It really worked out. I really enjoyed myself, and it was really a pleasure for me to have a buddy system with you. And I appreciate you giving me the time to go over my books. There's 8 of them. It took a little bit long. And the whole Dragon Dreams, and even just the time to introduce myself to your audience, because there's the pros and cons, right? But next time Slavka and I get together, I won't have to give you this big introduction about who I am and whatnot. You'll already know. And those of you will just get to know both Slavka and I as time goes on. And I really look forward to the co-dreaming that we're all doing together. And I appreciate everyone who's courageously co-dreaming this beautiful world into being with us. And I just have so much to say. Like I said, I don't want to let you go, Slavka. I just want to keep chatting with you. But
Yeah, thank you for having me as well. I'm thrilled, to be together with you in this stream, to be able to share. I'm just really honored. Thank you for your sharing your story and sharing your essence, and hope that we can repeat soon. Yeah. Anyway, we will put our details below in the description, and for the video. And yeah, feel free to get in touch with me as well. My YouTube channel is the Natural Sentient. I'm also on Facebook, and I'm available through email, naturalsentient@gmail.com. So anyway, everything will be in the description. So feel free to reach us to both, basically. Yes, that I want to say. And I'm starting to ramble as well. So thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate every one of you, and see you soon.
yeah, I have a little outro video, and I'll end the stream now. Thank you so much again, Slavka, and I look forward to spending more time with you. And thank you to those of you who participated. And if you're catching the replay, please let us know how you relate in the comments. We would really love to see it. Okay. Thank you for dreaming with us, everybody. Good
Thank you.
dreams. Half remembered, half misunderstood. We unite. Take care, and we'll see you all next time. Good to see you, Slavka. Take care, everybody.